question that we need to address as we prepare to conclude is, to whom are first fruits directed? Biblically, in ancient Israel, first fruits were directed to the functioning high priest. That high priest was a representation of God in the spiritual life of the entirety of the nation of Israel. Today, in our modern world, the contemporary counterpart or application of that would be one's spiritual father, one's spiritual oversight. It's the person that has custody or oversight, who watches over your soul, who imparts grace to you by the preaching and the teaching of God's word. In a household of faith, this would be the senior elder or the so-called pastor that has charge over the house. Biblically, and I don't have time to lay out all the supporting scriptures here, biblically, this individual is the recipient of first fruits. There are obviously protocols and principles governing the reception of this first fruit, and also the wise and godly, the God-fearing administration and management of these funds once they are in the hands of a spiritual father. Biblically, he's allowed to use some of it for his personal needs, but also too, these funds are meant to be directed to areas of need in persons within the household of faith and beyond it. And in fact, in our broadcast next week, I want to give some time to one specific case study where these things will become abundantly evident. It is said that the modern church today has become institutional. The administration of first fruits was never meant to be institutional. It was meant to be personal. It is from you, the Son of God, directing these funds which demonstrate your trust in God to the person that you regard as an accurate representation of the fathering grace in God your Father that is vested now in this person, that ministers grace to you through the delivery of God's word. When these first fruits are offered, you are saying, I honor. Please remember this. First fruits is about trust, like I said earlier, but it's also about honor. And the word honor simply denotes an estimate that you have in your mind concerning the degree of dignity, weight, grandeur, importance that you attach to the other. So when I honor my leader, what I'm saying is I've weighed you, I've calculated you, and I've attached a particular estimate to you. It starts with a perception in the mind, but it's then expressed in behavioral patterns of outward obedience that express the disposition of honor within the heart. I said earlier, first fruits is about trust. Secondly, first fruits is about honor. You cannot address the disobedience to the first fruit practice financially if there is a problem of dishonor in the heart of the individual. Because if dishonor persists, even if the person practices the first fruit principle, it will be non-representative of the intent or the state of the heart. That's why we keep on saying it's not about the money per se. It's about what is projected and what is expressed in and through the administration of this finance. And I just want to sound a word of caution here. When we do this, we are not worshiping men. We are not idolizing individuals that function as spiritual fathers or leaders over us. We are not deifying them. We are simply esteeming them, as 1 Thessalonians 5, 12, 13, and other portions would say, to appreciate and to honor and to esteem highly those who work among you in the Lord, because they watch for your souls, etc. It's simply a token of gratitude to God represent in those who are visible representations of His fathering grace within our context. And so I want to encourage you, honor the Lord with your first fruits.